Hello, everyone. I'm Simon Preston, and welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary. Thank you so much for tuning in to another video on this channel. We have a very, very special guest with us this afternoon, and it's none other than Alexander Kerr, football analyst and aspiring football broadcaster in the future. Alex, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well.
I'm fine, thank you.
Great, great. Good to hear from you and to finally be able to connect with you. Alex, firstly, the match yesterday, of course, the result was disappointing,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
relates to the performance of the team. What were your thoughts from the Jamaican standpoint first?
Um, I thought we actually weren't that bad, but I think we definitely were dominated by the Mexicans though in the
You,
first half and in the second half as well. But we didn't play too bad, in all honesty.
yeah, I remember the first half. We There were opportunities where we had the ball, and it felt like we got two, three passes together, and then Mexico got it back, and it's like a cycle for that first half.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about this 11? So this on our screen is what people would see in terms of the
Yeah.
starting 11 that Jamaica had. Your thoughts, especially from the Jamaican standpoint of the team that we played against Mexico?
Um, I think it was pretty good. I would have maybe liked to see maybe Mariapa play, but I think that it was a good enough starting 11 to be honest. I don't think it was. I think it was strong enough, in all honesty.
In terms of Mariapa, you would prefer him at right back, centre back, where preferably you were
Um,
hoping that you'd play?
Maybe center back. Maybe beside Low before he got sent off, but I would say maybe a center back.
Centre back. Ethan Pinnock, Damien Lowe, Adrian Mariappa. Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I was actually going to go with a back three for that game. That's what I predicted that a
Oh,
back three would have helped. So it's interesting that you say that. Because
that's true.
Ethan Pinnock, you watch the Premier League and you'd see Ethan Pinnock at Brentford and Tony at West Ham. So good quality players.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I don't think he played terribly on Ethan Pinnock because I've seen him play before and he's a pretty good striker if you ask. Not a striker, a center back if you ask me.
Yeah, and as you know, he's quite tall as a defender, so he won a lot of those aerial battles, won a lot of those headers. So he did quite well from that perspective, you'd say.
Yes, I think so as well.
Okay. Other players on the pitch, we saw Ravel Morrison, Daniel Johnson in midfield. Your thoughts about them in particular?
I thought Daniel Johnson wasn't that bad. His goal was pretty good if you ask me. It's a pretty good finish. But I think around the first half I saw him a little bit wasteful. I think I remember him giving away the ball one time. But I think he was pretty good. I thought that finish was a really good finish. Yeah.
Yeah, it really, really was. And as you'd know as well, Alex, with a left foot, it's sometimes a bit more difficult. So that left-footed strike really, really worked out well for him. And the other players that played in that front three, Junior Flemings, Lamar Walker, Antonio. Your thoughts about that as well, Alex? Playing a front three versus like two up front versus three up front. What is
Mhm.
your preference, especially from a Jamaican standpoint?
Um, I personally believe that it may have going from Mexico's perspective, since that they have three going straight through, like and not on the wings, it may not have been the best decision to go for three on the wing. Maybe this time.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting. I was thinking that too because Mexico are that team that likes to keep the
Yeah.
ball on the ground, and as you can see on the screen, how Mexico lines up with two banks of three. So with our bank of three, it would certainly cause congestion, and they would neutralize whatever we have. So I think it's a good point that you raised there. And Antonio, yes, he didn't score, but your thoughts about his performance?
In all honesty, I was kind of a little disappointed in him in his performance. He wasn't the best, if I'm being totally honest.
Hmm.
But yeah, he wasn't the best.
Would you put that down to a lack of service from the midfielders not giving him the ball, or perhaps his movement off the ball? What would you say was
Um,
disappointing?
I think it's kind of a mix of both, to be honest. In all honesty, I think I saw both of that happening. But yeah, I think it's really a mix of both, to be honest. We saw both of that occurring where he wasn't making himself really well, he didn't get the opportunity to have the ball fed to him, or yeah, I think it was a mix of both, in all honesty.
Okay. And the substitutions that came on for Jamaica, Andre Gray, Liam Moore, Greg Lee, and Elvis Powell. Your thoughts on the substitutions that came on for Jamaica?
With Gray, I don't really see Gray do much. I think in the time that he got, he didn't really get to really show what he really can do. So I don't think he got the opportunity of that much time to really show what he could do. But for what I saw, it was the same kind of thing where he never got like with Antonio where he it wasn't that much. He didn't show what he really could do.
Hmm. And in your eyes, just before the halftime break, the red card, in your eyes, was it a red card for you personally?
For me personally, I
Hmm.
think yes. With studs up, I think so. Maybe I kind of think so. With studs up, it may have been an accident. In honesty, it kind of seemed like it wasn't intentional,
Yeah.
but with studs up into the ankle, I don't think that was. I think that maybe may have been a red card challenge.
It always is a difficult one because you're going
Yeah,
for the ball, and those things happen in football. It's a contact sport,
yeah,
so those elements are prone to happen.
yeah.
So, Alex, we lead 1-0. We're looking good, and then we make a couple of changes. Javane Brown gets injured.
Yeah, I
What's
saw that.
going through your mind when that happened?
Um, I was kind of shocked because he didn't actually play that bad. If you ask me, he was playing pretty good. I was seeing like on his side, he wasn't really marking as much because, but I think he ended up getting the getting what he was need to get done. I think he actually played pretty good, and I think it was an aerial battle that happened. And he didn't, and when he came back down, he had hurt himself. I think that's what happened.
Yes, that's correct.
But I think he played pretty good. Um, yeah, I don't think he played bad at all.
And and then when you saw, of course, he was wobbling and limping a bit,
Yeah.
and on the bench you see Alvis Paul getting ready to go on. Were you saying to yourself, why not Mariappa?
Yeah, because I think I heard the commentator say, Mariappa wasn't warming up or something. I'm not sure. So I was a little bit shocked to see that Mariappa wouldn't go on because Mariappa's experience. Mariappa's one of my favorites, Jamaican players. So I was kind of a little biased to him maybe, but I thought that maybe should have gone on instead.
Yeah,
A li-
go ahead. Yeah.
No, yeah, I was finished.
Okay. Well, as it relates to those two times that Mexico did score it, I guess no coincidence that it came from that right hand side where Alvis Powell was
Yeah,
defending but didn't jump. So disappointing there.
yeah, definitely disappointing.
And for you, as you know, Alves plays in Major League Soccer, and MLS hasn't started their season as yet, so
Yeah.
he hasn't played a lot of games.
Mhm.
Versus Mariappa, who's in Australia and playing games, so you'd think perhaps rustiness on Alves's point.
Yeah, I think so because I think he is more of like an attacking kind of defender where he's not too strong into defending type of thing. I
Hmm.
think kind of like a Hector Bellerin type thing.
Yeah, good comparison. So as you can see on the screen now, Alex, this is basically the standings as it stands right now.
Yeah,
Jamaica, 5 games left to go, 3 games at home and 2 on the road. Jamaica 7 points off Panama, which is has 14. We have Panama to play next. Realistically, Alex, do you think fourth is still achievable? Top three is definitely going to be a tough one because Mexico are 10 points ahead. But
definitely.
do you think fourth is something that is achievable?
I think that we definitely need to make some changes if it's gonna happen. I think it's maybe possible though. I think it's maybe possible. And talking about home with what you're saying that we have a few games at home.
Yeah.
I maybe think that maybe we should allow fans to be in the crowd. I think that maybe this it's kind of an excuse, but I think maybe this game maybe might have gotten a better performance if maybe there are players there that not players, fans. That's just my opinion. That
Mhm.
maybe we might have like in the 80th minute to kind of concede. I think with the fans atmosphere, it might have not happened if I'm being totally honest.
Agreed. So you'd recommend vaccinated fans could be allowed into the stadium. You'd agree.
It literally doesn't even have to be all the full max attendance. It could be like 1,000, 2,000, or maybe even less in honesty. It doesn't even have to be the whole stadium. And maybe people could be separated, like with USA when we played against USA.
Mhm.
Some of the people were split up in different um sides of the stadium.
Yeah. And you remember that USA game where we had some fans, 4,100 of them. For those that were watching TV, could literally hear the fans, so you
Yeah,
can imagine what it must have been like. So
yeah.
yeah, a difficult one. Well, another game awaits on Sunday. Alex, you said that some changes need to be made in going forward if we're to really try to get fourth position in the qualifiers. What changes would you like to see? Is it like Mariapa starting, or it's a little bit deeper than that?
Yeah, maybe Mariapa starting. I think that with that more of an experience in defense, and I think he's a solid center back. So I think that maybe what you're saying, maybe three at the back. I think that wouldn't be a bad idea for like the upcoming games, because I think we might need that for the upcoming games. Yeah.
Okay. And we still have some players in the squad that, like Kevin Stewart, who is going to train with the team soon. We haven't had a chance to see Bobby Reed as yet. Would you give them an opportunity to play for the next game?
Maybe Bobby Reed. Yeah, I think so.
Bobby Reed. Okay. Would you start him with Antonio, with Corey Burke? Who would you go with?
Maybe Antonio. I think I genuinely see Antonio's potential. I think that he is I think it was good for him to come and like represent Jamaica. And we saw that with his goal for USA. I remember I was really excited for that goal. I remember I jumped up in my seat when I saw that goal. So I think that he is a pretty lethal striker, if you ask me. I think he's pretty high up in the Premier League table for goals. I'm not sure. Because West Ham has been doing pretty good this season. Kind of more than my expectation. He's been doing pretty good himself with the team as well.
And I'm sure, as an Arsenal fan as you are, you'd love to have him at Arsenal one day. Or you don't want Antonio at West Ham, at Arsenal?
I don't know. I wouldn't mind because a Jamaican international at the team I support, I wouldn't mind, to be honest.
Okay. Because with Young and his contract situation, I figured a player of his caliber would help you.
Kind of disappointed with Vlahovic not coming, but
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah, yeah. That's a transfer market, but you never know.
Yeah,
In transfer market, things can just turn. This time next year, could be an Arsenal player. You never know.
never know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, guys. Alex is an Arsenal fan, a very, very staunch Arsenal fan. So we'll see if we'll have some Jamaican players in the future at Arsenal. But speaking about Arsenal, Alex, uh, if there is one Jamaican international that you could see play for Arsenal, who would it be? Who do you want?
Probably Leon Bailey, if I'm being totally honest.
Hmm, Leon Bailey.
I see maybe a replacement for Pepe well, maybe playing with Pepe, maybe not Nicola Pepe, maybe on the wing with him. I'm not sure, but
Okay. Yeah,
and
it could be a good.
I would see him with Saka. I think that it would maybe not be a bad thing, but I'm not sure if you'd want to go because maybe like in a few years, but I don't think he would do it now. Not of course since he just signed for Aston Villa.
True, true. Good point. And what about the goalkeeper, Andre Blake? Do you think Arsenal has good goalkeepers right now, or they could use Andre Blake?
I think Ramsdale is pretty good. Maybe a backup in Andre Blake because we're linked to Matt Turner, which is a goalkeeper in the MLS, just like Andre Blake. So maybe in the future we could have Andre Blake as maybe a backup because Ramsdale has a lot of potential. If you ask me, he's maybe the best goalkeeper in the Premier League right now. And but I think him and De Gea are kind of the same in skill right now.
Okay. All right. Well, Alex, I really, really appreciate the time, to come on to discuss the Mexico game and look ahead to the Panama game on Sunday. So really, really appreciate your time, and hopefully in the future we can have you back to discuss more football. Thanks for watching the game, and keep up the good work that you're doing.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it.
No problem. And my final question before we wrap off today's video, heading into the game on Sunday against Panama. do you think, based on yesterday's result against Mexico, that the team will be a bit more open for their attacking style, a bit more focused? You
I
think?
think so. I think so because maybe like it's a boost from what this they saw, like because they can definitely make some improvements from what they saw to yesterday's game.
Mm, okay. All right, guys. This was the final word on Mexico versus Jamaica at the National Stadium with football analyst Alexander Carr. Thank you so much for tuning in to another video on this channel. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary.